Beep. Beep 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 beep. Beep 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 beep. Beam 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 beep 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 beep. Let's actually change this to a window. Oh, wait. Application capture. Canva. Okay. Beep 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 beep. Hmm. Try again. Site wasn't available. What does that mean? Resume, resume. Okay, try again. Ugh. Okay, gotta go through and getting a lot done today too, I guess. Bum 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 ba ba da ba 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 da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba ba da ba 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 da ba da. Okay, so what did I get? I got getting a lot done today, getting a lot done today. So then this one. Well, I guess I'll do this later, right? Because I don't want to mess up my thing. I don't want to mess up my thing. All right. All right. Okay, we're going to carry on with our little storyboard here. What up, Aaron? Aaron. Wait, is raiding with a party of one just means anyone over there has now been redirected over here, and that included a whole one person? Wait, what? What? What's raiding? What's raiding? Hmm. Is that what Ruby was talking about yesterday? Raiding? So by the way, I'm still not too sure what it means if I'm being entirely honest, but that's okay. We'll figure it out one day. We'll figure it out one day. I went down the hill today to capture some footage of the gondolas, and it failed again, but it failed in a very insignificant way, and I know exactly what happened again. I just need to adjust some things, And then also I noticed the trap door mechanism, the leaf was getting triggered and it was opening up, but the doors weren't falling. And I think as like time has gone on and these gondolas have kind of gotten abused a little bit, the doors are kind of like sticking shut. So I got to figure out why they're sticking shut and make them so that they don't stick shut anymore. But I think we're basically like it's basically working. Um, Even with that failure, nothing really went wrong. I just have to adjust a couple things, but it's fine. Those darn sticky doors. It looks like anyone in the chat from my Twitch stream is automatically. Wait, are you on? Are you streaming right now? Is that is that what's happening? Just to you because you know exactly what you're doing already, but to people that don't know what you're doing, I think it's a different story. But I always appreciate your company. Um, I've been stuck on this part here, and I guess I want some opinions on how to start it. But I think what we can do right now is sort of go over what we already have figured out. I'm gonna put some headphones on. I feel like it keeps me a little bit more focused. So I want to focus. I want to go through what we already have. I was doing transcription from audio. Hey kids, come listen to the same 1.5 seconds of music 25 times until you can hear when the hi-hat is playing. I know that. I know that struggle. Not transcription, but that's like what a lot of editing is like too. Um okay. So, obviously this is our intro here. We start with I hate mice, beauty shots of the gondola. I added this little section, specifically this species, the North American deer mouse. I feel like that's an important thing that we can throw in. They're cute but scary. They might look cute and small, but they are terrifying. And then the news coverage. Maybe I'm being a hypochondriac, but I'm tired of having to suit up like it's a biohazard risk every time I do basic chores on my property. As far as I'm concerned, this is war. Transition to the war room. And then we do the strategy thing. Deer mice occupy this land natively. The issue is our human lifestyle has become a beacon for them, and I just don't want them in and around my stuff anymore. Typically, this is solved by eliminating them, but this only works temporarily since the beacon remains, meaning eliminating them becomes a daily chore, and I just feel like this could have a negative impact on my soul. But what if we could take a more defensive approach? I'm leaning towards option 3 here for the plan. Surely we could just prevent the mice from getting into the buildings. However, this is far easier said than done. In fact, I've already tried mouse-proofing just this chicken coop multiple times, and these darn mice figure out a way in no matter what I do. Yes, I could probably do a much better job of making the chicken feed harder for the mice to access and reducing places for the mice to shelter, which is the plan. And in the long run, will hopefully prevent mice from congregating here so much. But this isn't going to happen overnight, and I will still need a way to remove the mice that have already found refuge near my buildings. All I need is an elegant and robustly engineered solution to relocate these mice back to the wild to hopefully buy me some time while I better mouse proof my entire property. Just reading the film this static and zoom in post. How do you handle resolution loss? I just don't care about resolution. I'm fine with. I'm fine. I mean, I shoot in 4K. But like the streams, for example, download at 720. Um, and theoretically, you could crop in a 4K image. Like, can you literally crop in like a quarter of it, and it'll be 1080p still? Yeah, yeah. So I kind of like I sort of like to embrace the jank. As long as the story's there, it doesn't matter. Yeah, and that's like a pretty considerable crop if you can get into 10 get 4K to 1080. It's pretty considerable. But yeah, I just don't really care too much. Um, it adds to the drama, and nobody's gonna fault me for having bad quality. I don't think. Um, so this is the part where I'm stuck. So after because realistically, the amount of footage that I've captured via the live streams and everything, and through like filming everything on my phone whenever I remember, I totally could just create an entire narrative using clips from all the footage I've collected, and it would be a cohesive story. I probably wouldn't even need voiceover, any sort of like voiceover thing. that, oh, that would be funny. Um, but the problem is, I want this to feel like something a little bit more fresh than just a build video. I want this to feel less like watch me build this and more like an actual sort of like plot, and like it gets really old fast, I think, when it's just a lot of the build. So what I was thinking about doing is basically structuring this first part of the build, because we have the basic build, which is the anatomy of a basic gondola. And I want this to be high momentum really quick. And then we hit the tick concern. Less build, more story, correct. So I want to really like gloss through the first part of this build. And sort of how I was thinking about doing it is because right at this point where I say all I need is an elegant and robustly engineered solution to relocate these mice back to the wild, to hopefully buy me some time while I better mouse-proof my entire property. And this is not a solidified script, but it's kind of just like outlining what I want to do. So at that line, the shot is going to be, or at lines 3 and 4, the shot is going to be me dramatically drawing this blueprint and then hanging it up on the wall and stepping back and looking at it. And so it reveals, obviously, the blueprint for the gondola, which isn't that big of a reveal because everybody knows from the thumbnail and from the beginning of the video that I'm building this gondola anyways. So the reveal itself doesn't actually do anything, but the reason I want the blueprint thing there is because I thought it would be fun for me to basically be like, gondolas are simple, and I've planned everything out. Here's what we're going to do. And then I can basically have a bunch of shots of me referencing the blueprint, talking about what I'm going to do, and then in the background having the shots of me actually doing those things. And I was telling Steph about this yesterday, and she's like, oh, it'd be really funny if every time you were saying like what you're gonna do, you show footage of you doing it, but it like sometimes it's like not good at all. So that it would be kind of just like a fun little contradiction thing. But the issue with all of this is I got to figure out the timeline and figure out how much goes into this section before we hit the whole tick clearing the way thing, because basically I'm going to go through the drawing and be like, so we're going to need a bull wheel. We could probably use a bike rim for that, and to add grip to the bike wheel, we can just cut a tire down and line it with rubber or something, which is exactly what ends up happening. And then we just need to build a frame on some sort of sliding mechanism so that we can adjust the tightness of the cable and we can show all that stuff. Um, I can even say like, I've designed this beautifully engineered frame, and then the actual footage is me like literally taking apart a pallet and just like poorly bolting it together. Always show only failures in the blueprint could add drama tension, so folks would then be happier to see. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like the only thing is that this part of the build there wasn't that many failures yet. All the failures happen at the like later stage. Um, but the blueprint thing would also lead into the fact, like I'll constantly reference like we just need a tower up top, we need a tower at the bottom. There is all of these trees in the way that I'm gonna have to clear a path, and I'm really not looking forward to that. So I kind of tease the not looking forward to the clearing the path thing. Um, that's kind of the thought I have, but it's got to be quick. It's got to be fun. Um, and actually, what I'll do here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do. Cause what do I got here? Final Cut Pro. Okay. Okay. Let's just do this. We're gonna go with a display capture again. Okay. Okay. So, I started kind of putting the pieces together, and like this is like the bike parts. It's smaller than I was expecting, but it was free on the side of the road, and I promise it was free. I didn't just steal a kid's bike. Okay, there's one wheel. Oh, that is rusty. This can't be what thwarts me right now. I was looking for moams. There's not that many moams at this point. I obviously love. And basically, I'm thinking. Oh God, that fits good. Look at that. We'll have lots of this stuff. But it's got to be quick. It's got to be real fast paced, and like I'll have good zoom in shots of me like pointing at the blueprint, showing all the different parts. I just don't know how far to go with the blueprint thing. Maybe not full of moments, but it's decent footage just to show what's happening. Yeah, and I think, there's going to be stuff to see at the very least. It might not be the most funny thing or anything like that, but it doesn't, I haven't made super funny videos yet either, so it's not what people are expecting. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's smaller than I expected. Might be okay. I also have, I think I have a clip of, I think I got Steph to film me when, actually, let's see if I can see any of this stuff. Photos. See any of the stuff that she sent me? Or I think I got her filming me picking up the bike. Can you send me all the footage you've filmed of me? We can do it later too if airdrop would work better. Yeah, so unfortunately I was trying to download a bunch of a bunch more streams, but a lot of them didn't download fully, so I gotta redo them. I I don't think there's that much. Look at that. Oops, sorry. of a super valid design. You can always What is that? You can always expect quality craftsmanship. That's what I thought that was kind of fun. You can always expect quality craftsmanship. I was thinking that too, the Canada moment, because I was saying sorry to you guys, but without that context, it's like I'm saying sorry to the bike wheel, and I think that's really funny. Look at that. Oops, sorry. Okay, I like that. Look at that. Yeah, well, that's a good moment right there. Look at that. Oops, sorry. Yeah. I'm sure I say sorry a ton. Okay, so then we can look at the iPhone footy. Oh, wait. It starts at the bottom, yeah. So there's footage of me clearing the area. I don't know if this is useful at all. I don't think so. I got a tiny little... No, I don't think I'll need stitches on this one, luckily. Just some stupid stuff. Me cutting the thing. Me contemplating. Like, this is what the thing looked like before, right? I tried to take as many shots. That's the path down there that we've since cleared. It's actually crazy. Day-to-day tasks aren't quite... It's all gonna work. Confident. This is the footage of being down there. Pretty, so... Not used to doing this kind of stuff. Line of sight. I haven't gone that far. It's a lot to go through. And then... Like, I don't think I really need to do... Whenever you're walking around, it has to jump cut so you spawn out and out. What do you mean? I had this whole thing about me measuring the length of the cable using using a string. I just don't know if that's like super crucial. We got our string. Wait, what? So that I could plant. There was this fun mome. And we're gonna let it go all the way to the bottom. She put something. She put a little. Yeah. Oh. Look at it go. Woo! In hindsight, doing a zip line would have been so much easier. A zip line and then just having some way of pulling it back up after. Down the hill. One. See that pile of... Wait, I'm so confused. Sorry and sorry, yup, out and in. How long is a piece of string? Could be a fun short that links to the vid. That's true. Oh, here's Pump shrimping. Look at her shrimp. She's a little shrimp. God, you're a shrimp. God, you're a shrimp. Lots of pulling things off.
On this.
Oh yeah, here's some cool driving shots. Unnecessary. Oh, let's look. That's just a picture.
They fall.
Uh,
Maybe
right, but what is the spawning? What were you referencing with spawning? I've I've gone too far now, and I don't remember what we were talking about at all.
Oh, wait. But you can't really see the cables right now on the camera, but we'll see it when they hit this.
Okay. It is so cool to see the cable. Whole thing's quite lopsided and stuff, but I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. Embrace the jank. Embrace the jank. This is all going pretty good. The fact that this cracked kind of scares me. Actually, I'm gonna throw another screw. Nice. There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna go do that. We'll have to figure that out. But Wait,
down
what?
this hill.
Oh,
The
golden hour.
addition of a third intermediate tower. And
When you were first just walking around up top. Oh, yes. Okay. I'm getting it now. Sorry. So hard for me to understand things sometimes. Call me crazy, but honestly, I think y'all have pretty decent highways, especially for smaller population. It doesn't do to over. No, the roads, honestly, the roads. I'm quite happy with the roads around here.
I think a middle tower is going to be necessary, unfortunately. We'll have to figure that out, but I haven't even had my coffee yet, so I'm going to go do that.
The lighting is so nice. I love the sun. Yeah, that's so stupid. Oh yeah, deer. Oh, see, there's so many of these little special deer moms.
This is just so silly. Such a little.
Yeah, the lag, especially when we're zipping through things like this. But it's okay. It's all good. We're doing great.
I don't know if it's easy to. Isn't it nice?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's easy to tell in this video, but it's so beautiful here right now. Hey, Dust, isn't it? Isn't it nice? So you have to clear these, I think. I can't really see it, but we're caught on one. 6:30 in the morning. I'll be honest, I'm not usually up at this time. But it's been so warm out. And it's actually cool outside right now. So I'm gonna use this opportunity to try and fix the cable down.
I just like a lot of these moms. I don't know about. I don't know if I need them.
In terms of like it getting caught or anything, it was and get past.
Wait,
So we'll have to figure something out.
how am I sending? Oh yeah, this is me doing it by hand.
I don't got a lot of space between the cable.
Oh my god, there's so...
I don't know why I thought it was 20 pounds. Cable wrapped around. We've got our... So I want to measure exactly how much force... I want to measure exactly how much force it takes to actually rotate this thing. So...
That part's kind of funny. The rooster just
rollers...
totally interrupting me.
amount of friction, and as you can see, everything rolls. It's not as smooth as I was hoping. Just pull it. That's the little sprocket. I want to put the little sprocket on the motor. If I clamp it to this thing, I can loosen this. Slice in the same way.
Oh yeah, he's pulling the motor out. There's some good stuff here. That'll be fun.
Salvage. It is time to go salvage a motor.
Oh yeah, and then here's some mouse footage. The coop's pretty dirty in this.
Definitely some mice. Speed knob and everything. Okay, and then we start it back up again. You can see the little green thing maybe.
I actually filmed a lot of this.
I'm just gonna... Oh wow.
I know. But she doesn't understand how. Huh? One day. Never have to go down here again.
Never have to go down here again.
Right. That's it.
That's a very important thing because I have to go down there maybe about 1,000,000 times more than that.
This time I'm gonna have to go down there really. Cleaning it up. I was just down the hill cleaning it up a bit. Got to install this last tower at the bottom. I think this is the last time I'm gonna have to go down there really. I said, I think I did. I think I've said that so many times.
Oh my god.
The wire's on it. Bottom. I think this is the last time I'm gonna have to go down there really.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah. Yeah,
Zoom. It's gonna be so annoying to take off all that support. Oh wait! Woo! Woo! Look how clean that is. Look at that. That just stayed on the bed. How nice is that? Isn't that nice? Little interface layer. Oh, so great. Watch him come over here. Ooh, a little rough there. A little rough. Chain's pulling pretty good. Everything's looking pretty good. This needs a couple more bolts, but
I never put
and
any more bolts.
Great.
Oh, that's a
Here we go. Let's see. I mean, this is bad. You can't see any of this, but we're still moving.
Oh yeah, this is the whole splicing of the cable. Don't need to see any of that.
Audience isn't gonna want to. Because everything I tried. You can kind of see it down there. Can kind of pull out, but it keeps coming off. Looks like it's going pretty good so far. We're down base. Looks good. Going around. Ooh, that was pretty rough. That was pretty rough, but it looks like we're actually, this mount works so much better. It's still attached. That's a new one. This is
Okay. This is
clearly the top half is hotter, so and then it's okay. It's okay. It's looking quite good, I think.
right. I completely forgot about the whole acrylic saga. I filled out a music license request form. Like you want to actually play the. Yeah, I don't understand how music on videos works. Like licensing.
Turn it on.
It seems pretty risky, but I think if you're doing covers, you don't need a license. You can just. I don't know.
Something.
Oh my god. Oh. That's hilarious. Oh, that's you're thinking that's actually hilarious. That's actually hilarious. That would be fun.
Things are calibrating.
Yeah, the whole laser saga is a big thing, but that's good for the sponsor, so I'm glad it's there.
Oh, yes.
Oh, more deer. Little babies. Look at little baby deer. Yeah, aw. So nice. Pop, 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 pop. Oh, they're little hops. Love the little hops. Um, none of the other cars are technically mine. That's the only one that was technically mine. I mean, I'm sure I could. I'm sure there's, but they don't technically belong to me. So I know, isn't it so cute? Oh yeah, and then there's the whole motor saga.
That the gondolas will trigger blow the whole system.
Oh yeah, this bird was just being weird.
What are you doing?
Yeah. More deer.
Oh. See? Thank you for. Once I add tension.
Okay, I remember all this stuff now. So
You send them downwards. Blue one's over. over. Down, looking pretty good. You could see how much lower they are than
Yeah, they get into stuff. It's actually a problem. The deer are a problem here, but they're just so cute. So it's kind of like it's hard to be mad at them, especially the babies.
it is lifting these up a little.
Okay, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom quickly, and I'll be right back. But I think I'm just trying to get an idea of all the footage that I have so that we can see creative ways to put this together. That's not just literally putting all this together. Um, I really want I want there to be like different sections of the video. I don't want it to just be all. I'm gonna I'm gonna do my best. I will. Oh, it's a scorcher out there today, but it's honestly it's pretty cool in here, so it's kind of nice. Nice, good little temperature contrast. Okay, so nah, I didn't. Nah, I didn't. I put it in the bedroom, but not in here. not in here. Which is, it actually does stay pretty cool in here. Sorry, I stepped on something and like it's like stabbing me, but I don't know what it is and I can't find it. I'm not sure if I'm feeling the continued pain of the stab or like is it just residual or is it still stabbing me? I don't know. Yeah, I think it can. Although when it's cold, I just want to kind of like be under a blanket. That has an impact on my energy level. Okay, so oh yeah. Oh yeah, I want to look at the live streams again. So because basically the bank heist trope, I want to figure out what I need to be saying and like how much of this I should be including. Cause fatty gay, quite fatty gay, as they say. Je suis très fatty gay. That's such a stupid.
I think we started strong, but this building phase is where
I love speaking French with like the zero French accent.
the video. Actually, not a major requirement. On the bike off. You just tap these little things out, or what? Is there a specific?
Cause fatty gay, quite fatty gay, as they say. Je suis très. That's such a stupid.
I think we started strong.
There is such a there is a significant delay on Restream. It's crazy. I just relaunched Chrome. Apparently, my computer doesn't love when it attempts to reload 173 tabs. I feel that. I feel that. So I'm trying to figure out. Like, I just don't. I don't know how important a lot of this is.
You didn't miss anything. I've just been trying to take this chain off this bike for the last 30 minutes. So many leftovers too.
Sparks is always kind of nice.
Okay, so.
Oh, okay. So Restream shows like a super delay for me, but you obviously, because on Restream I haven't even started to get to the point where you see the sparks, like when I'm looking at my Restream thing.
I used to do this as a kid, I feel like. Why am I... Oh. Oh. We're so close. Oh, interesting. Oh my goodness, I can't imagine what you're... I don't technically put this chain back together, theoretically.
Yeah. I guess I could have just checked the Twitch stream. Oh yeah, the Twitch is way more. Oh, the Twitch stream is like actually like pretty good. It's only like a couple seconds. Oh, excuse me.
Left on.
So I'm trying to figure out at what point I ended up going down the hill. I think I was already cleared. I think I already cleared the hill at this point, is the only thing.
Hours away from, or I'm just gonna assemble.
So that's an interesting kind of thing. So, basically I was hoping that me talking to the audience about the blueprint as we're showing footage of me building the stuff, I need all of that to happen before I get into the clearing the way. The problem is I actually cleared the way before I did most of this building. So I'm wondering if, because I think the actual timeline was I cleared the way like first, basically, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's like the first thing I did. Yeah, you can see it's already clear at this point, and I don't have anything built here yet. I still have the ladder. This was fun but useless and didn't result in anything. Yeah, this was me trying. I didn't stream this. Oh wait, did I? No, I don't think I streamed this. I don't think I streamed this. This was just me filming it, and it was just trying to measure. But I didn't want to go down there, so I was trying to shoot. I was trying to shoot the string down there with my compound bow. I had the I had I had the string attached to the arrow, but it didn't work. It didn't work. Um, I don't know if any of this needs to be in the video. That's the thing. Like measuring this stuff, but I mean, it is kind of. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know what went wrong, if I'm being honest. I think I think there was just too much drag on the string. Like I didn't. Yeah, I think you can see. That shot is a gun show. Is it? Is that cool? So far away. Um, no, the string wasn't waxed. It's just regular string. And then I tried throwing a wrench down. Dusty. Oh yeah, that was the other thing is the string kept getting caught in like the grass down here. Look how cute she is. See how bad my throws are. I don't think I've ever watched myself throw anything, so this is. I never watched this footage back, I don't think. Friction hate. There's Dusty again.
5 feet.
She's always around. Yeah, so I don't know if it's important to mention how long it is. Actually, you know what I can do? Because if all I show from the measuring scene is the shot of Steph sending something down. Oh, Dusty.
What? Side by side. Um,
Yeah, because you don't see the top from here, actually, so we don't even.
Here it goes.
It's 250 feet, yeah. Well, 225 if we're being exact. Yeah, because I can be like, blueprint scene. So I can be like, I know a gondola might seem like a ridiculous solution, but got this all figured out. It's just a glorified clothesline. Just a right clothesline. Um, it's not that complicated. All I'm gonna need is two towers, one at the top, one up top here by the chicken coop, and one down below. I'm just writing this out here because this part's got to feel like a natural script, and then we'll take that, put it into Canva, and try and figure out the shots. Because I'm thinking it could be totally out of order. I'm thinking it doesn't actually need to be chronological at all. None of this needs to be chronological. One up top here by the chick, one down below. Um, where we yeah, I could try that. I definitely like I like I there's something that happens in my brain when I'm actually writing something down or like typing something. Um, I definitely, I mean, I haven't really tried doing voice dictation, but honestly, if I was using an AI, nice, it's valid. If I was using AI to write this, which honestly, the last few videos I did use AI for the scripting, um, I would probably definitely just want to have I didn't even try this. I should have tried this, but I would just have a conversation with the AI, and that would be a really good way to do it. But I kind of wanted to try no AI on this one. I'll use it for the thumbnail, and that's pretty much it. The reason being, um, I feel like it takes a little bit of my personality out of it, and so I wanted to. In fact, one thing I'm going to try and do with this one, nay, nay, I. One thing I want to try and do with this one is even forego teleprompter. I want to do basically no teleprompter on this one. I really want to. It's been so smoky, and honestly, like, it's been, um, I can feel it. I'm like coarse. I was climbing up the hill again today, and like when I'm like really huffing and puffing, I start breathing through my nose because I feel like it just like gets better oxygen that way, and I could feel the burn in my nose from the smoke. It was crazy. I was like, why is it? Why does this burn right now? Why does it burn to breathe through my nose? And I was like, oh my god, I'm breathing smoke. It's all good. It's hopefully it's gonna be. We're hoping for rain on Saturday and Sunday. Ugh. But that makes me tired. Obviously, not getting like I'm not getting probably as good of oxygen. It's been really bad the last couple days. I don't know. It's funny when like the fires were really crazy and like we were actually concerned and people were getting um evacuated in like Summerland and stuff. I We had like no smoke those days. And now that but I don't know. I don't have any explanation, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Um they're doing a good job, I think. All I'm going to need is two towers. All I'm going to need is two towers, one up top here by the chicken coop and one down below where the mice will get released. And so I'm thinking I can basically show, when I say one up top here by the chicken coop, I can show me cleaning that area, and one down below where the mice will get released. Like, this is almost going to be a bit of like a teaser for the rest of the video, this part, I think. It'll kind of serve as a get through the initial build part that's not going to be that interesting in a kind of interesting way. Simultaneously, we can tease a few things. Um, and one down below where the mice will get released. Um, and then I just need a few hundred feet of cable that I can loop around these bull wheels on each tower, which will And one down below where the mice will get released. Yeah, I definitely have footage of me walking down the hill. I don't know yet. That could be a pointing at the blueprint thing too. And then I just need a few hundred feet of cable that I can loop around these bull wheels on each tower, which will trying to trying to figure out the best way to describe what the gondola is actually doing. Like most people I think kind of understand, but actually I've like shown this to people and they I have to really explain what's happening. Um so I need to like be clear that the cable goes in a loop. I can like this could actually be a very quick this could be a very quick thing. All I'm going to need is two towers, one up top here by the chicken coop and one down below where the mice will get released. And then I just need a few hundred feet of cable that I can loop around these bull wheels on each tower, which yeah, I don't even need to explain that I'm going to use bike wheels because they'll just show me using bike wheels. Like where I say I can loop around these bull wheels on each tower and then I could show the scene of just like this. You know? Okay. So this is our top bull wheel. Boom. That's it, right? So and then I just need a few hundred feet of cable that I can loop around these bull wheels. Okay, I know gondola might seem like a ridiculous solution, but I've got this all figured out. It's just a glorified clothesline, and clothesline, it's really not going to be that complicated. One of which will have a motor to pull a set of gondola cars down the hill, release the mice, and then pull them back up again. Like this isn't the right way to explain this yet, but I'm just trying to figure out if I want to, because if I'm thinking about like I'm explaining this to somebody for the first time and I haven't actually built this yet, what are the things that I would be describing? I probably wouldn't be like I put rubber in the I'm going to put, I'm going to cut a tire and put rubber, like I'm not going to be explaining all that stuff. I would be I would be really simplifying what the whole thing is going to be, but I also don't want to tease the gondola stuff yet. Or maybe I do. Yeah. I mean, I could just show really quick clips. I don't have to get into the details of it. Like, I'm thinking we basically just. It would almost be nice if I was like having a conversation with somebody, showing the blueprint, and they were like, "Isn't this going to be really hard to make?" And then I could be like, "No, it's going to be easy. I just need two towers," and then like it cuts through that, but it's not realistic. I'm not that good of an actor, so I don't want to like I don't want to I don't want the joke to pivot on, or I don't want the whole vibe of it to pivot on how good of an actor I am, because I'm a terrible actor. So what's the spark? I guess what's the spark notes? How can I really describe this? Because you're right, we're just showing, not telling. So I can just I know a gondola might seem like a ridiculous solution. Um but I think it's going to be pretty easy. It's just a glorified clothesline after all. And I think I've pretty much figured out all the details already. I could do that. I can. Okay, so I'm just thinking about how I would be explaining this. So I know gondola might seem like a ridiculous solution, but I think it's going to be pretty easy. It's just a glorified clothes hanger after all, and I think I've pretty much figured out all the details already. Um, the towers, for example. Hmm. I do talk to the chickens, but it's rarely. I talk to them about them. I don't really talk to them about other stuff. There's gonna be two towers. Not sure what I'll build them out of yet, but What up, Ruby? We're just working on the video again. Just figured out all the details already. There's gonna be 2 towers. I'm not sure what I'll build them out of yet, but hmm. What would I actually say? Line after all, and I think I pretty much figured out. It's possible. It's possible. Like, I have a lot I can say. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not struggling to figure out what I can say. I'm struggling to figure out what would be a natural thing to say here that also serves the story. So, for example, I'm trying to decide if it makes more sense for at this point because I'm going to be pointing at a blueprint, so I'm probably going to be trying to describe what this does in a general way. And I want to do it while showing contradictory footage of me actually doing the thing. Not necessarily contradictory, but like I don't want it to I don't want to be showing exactly what I'm saying I'm going to do. I think it'd be way more effective if the stuff that I'm showing adds adds to the story instead of just doubles up on what I'm saying. If you know what I mean. I'm being real like ethereal about this and I don't know why I'm doing that. Like I feel like I could. Yeah, exactly. Like a more realistic approach because obviously when I'm talking about a blueprint, I think I'm gonna be. I want the contrast to be like it's gonna be so easy. We got all this figured out, and then it's gonna jump to. But the thing is, I didn't really struggle that much with this part. Oops. That's the problem. Is there wasn't much of a struggle. Just like silly things, but not really with the actual build. So now I want to build the frame. Uh, Apparently, it's amazing. Let me change work again. Like, I'm just wondering if it makes sense. I'm just going for it. Banana bread, I'm going for it. Banana bread, I was talking to banana bread. It sounds like the prob is you're wading through footage looking for crashes. Kind of. I'm just trying to get an understanding of like where my head was at this point. I seem to remember being really cowabunga I'm going for. I seem to remember being really like just rushing through this part. I got the cable today. We are not I'm going this angle is cool. I really don't care about it being perfect because it's going to be sitting on top of a okay. Measure. Kind of like the juxtaposition of like when I'm 3D printing stuff, I try to be so meticulous, refined. And well, offcuts. Oh, that is Saul's McGall's. It's a little wobbly, but that's okay because the floor that it's going to go on is not straight at all. Saul's McGall's. Cross beam is designed to take. Yeah, I'm going to have to drive this down and attach it to the hill somehow. I'll probably just drill some big holes in the feet. The rollers that change. That's it. Hope that was a fun little baby. Big stretch. Ow, ow, my elb, me elb. Yeah, because I want. Hey, look how weird this was. Which is frustrating because if I want being a delayed version of myself, which is frustrating because if I wanted to hold something up to the camera. Oh boy, that is a delay. Oh my gosh, that is such a crazy delay. That the mean kind of like that. So this is pre-Twitch. This is pre-Twitch. If I don't. I know. Dang it. I was such a genius when I put together this 2x4 horse. Did it so flawlessly. No, it was just everything at this point was an individual thing that I was making, so I didn't know there were going to be issues. The issues came later, and there were lots. So, at this point I wasn't struggling. At this point I was just like able to make strides without any real consequence because nothing was actually working at all at this point. So, and I know this is like anybody watching this is probably going like, "Whoa. How does he ever get a video done when like he's written like 3 sentences this whole stream?" Oh my god, 2 sentences this whole stream. But I do think all of this sort of just sitting with it, mulling it over, absorbing. Is it often always a slog like the video part? Sometimes. Sometimes. And I enjoy this process. I enjoy it because I don't have to physically do anything. So it's easy on my body. I enjoy it's like just a big problem solving exercise, which is my favorite thing. So, and the things I have to consider for this, it's not what's feasible from like a cost or anything perspective. It's more about just figuring out with what I have currently, what's the best, most creative way I can go about this, and that's why it's fun for me. But it also does feel a little bit deflating when it's been an hour and a half, and I thought about this a lot last night, and I tried to figure it out yesterday. We're still not there, but again, this is still within the part. It's still within the time frame of a video where it is crucial that I get this part right. And I think it's okay to really spend the time, especially after spending all the time building the thing, spending an extra few hours really making sure. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And this is kind of my method. I mean, it's a little this is a little different than usual because usually I'm trying something different with this video. I'm trying to be more narrative with this video. I'm trying to have more fun with it. Um, the goal of this video isn't to explain the engineering stuff as much. The goal of this video is to try and try and really help capture the challenge of this project and capture the sort of emotional roller coaster, and not in like I didn't get sad or anything during this, but like emotional roller coaster from like just like a pure problem solving perspective, and then also from like an animal and wilderness appreciation perspective. I really want to capture that stuff, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to do that. Yeah, yeah. That's a good. That's a nice. It's a nice poetic way to put it. Um, where's my phone charger go? My phone's gonna die. Gosh, I'm yawning so much. I'm not tired. Oh, is that a movie? I've never seen it. I never even heard of it. I'm not tired. I don't think, but I don't think I've gotten enough like pure good oxygen in me today. So that's why I'm yawning, because I think yawning is like trying when you're not getting enough air or whatever, making that up. I mean that's what I think I've heard. So um yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I was watching some Michael Reeves videos yesterday to try and just see how he does it, because he actually will often gloss over all of that stuff. But that's true. Higher altitude for sure. um, but Michael Reeves is just such a interesting character and like so funny, and also like there's a lot of profanity in his videos, and I don't do any of that in my videos, which probably keep it that way. I like being a more of a family channel. Uh, I think if I was to try and do anything like Michael Reeves style, it'd be super cringy. So Is that what you call him, Harry Potter? Is that what you call him? um, he does. Have you ever seen his videos? Oh, really? Um, I think his videos are really funny, but definitely different totally different type of personality. So it's not a great the reference. The reason I'm using it as a reference is because he obviously like I like the lack of no. I like Michael Reeves' lack of like he's one of those guys who clearly puts in a ton of effort, but also doesn't at the same time. And I think I kind of relate to that. Um, I he clearly doesn't care about how good the shots look. He doesn't care about that. It's all about the story. He doesn't explain how things work really. He doesn't really explain any of that stuff, but he can get away with it because he's a very entertaining person. And so I need to see if I can be entertaining in my own way and avoid having to get too into the weeds about the engineering stuff. Well, I actually I don't have to. I never have to, but I need to do it in a way that's still entertaining for people. And I think it's an important thing to be able to do with the YouTube. Sucker Pinch, aka Tom7. I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna look that up right now. Oh no, I haven't seen this. I will check this out though, because this looks fun too. Super high effort. He's a computer scientist that works at Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh. Highbrow humor delivered completely deadpan. One video a year that goes along with a satirical conf- conference put on there by their. That's so cool. You see how I botched? I botched the reading of that. Um, I oh, I like that. I like that. Yeah, humor's a tough thing. It's a tough thing. I appreciate it. I don't think I'm very good at it. I think I can be a lot funnier in like conversational things, but when it comes to making videos, I have no idea how to make a funny video.
Chainsaws. Big
Kevin, watch this later. I think I've seen this and I already love it. I like that the title is Harder Drive, hard drives we didn't want or need, and it's just starting with chainsaws. That's very cool. Oh, gosh. I can't stop yawning today. Holy cow. Um Do I have a deadpan delivery? I don't even know. I don't even know what I don't know what's fun or it's super out there, but he's got a gag. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like I will have like a couple of those. Oh my god, I can't stop yawning today. I'll have a couple of those per video max. It's so hard to think of that stuff for me. But I think the situational comedy is where I'll have the easiest time because there's a lot of me being able to just say something and then show the exact opposite. I think that's pretty funny most of the time. I think that's like comedy 101. In Tom's case, making all the puns and ignoring them entirely. Yeah. Yeah, and like honestly, it's not something I want to think about at all. I sort of would like to just. It's not something I want to shoehorn into videos. It's something that I think just happens when I'm making the videos. And so I think that's why I'm kind of struggling with this part is because I'm simultaneously trying to think of the best way to actually drive the story forward, but then also thinking like, oh, how can I make it like funny or whatever? But maybe I shouldn't think about that. Maybe I should just be thinking about how to drive the story forward, and then like just naturally the funniness will find its way in through the edit or something like that. But if I'm if I'm just trying to drive the story forward, because here's things, here's things, right? We need to create curiosity loops. 100%. Yeah, yeah. And so those are things that we could pepper in, like literally just like for flavor after. But I want to start thinking about curiosity loops a little bit. So a curiosity loop is you open up a curiosity loop throughout the video, and then before you close it, you need to open up another one so it keeps people engaged, right? So we always talk about this in the YouTube strategy types of circles. We talk about curiosity loops. So like the thumbnail and title, for example. If we're looking at this thumbnail and title, for example, I built the world's longest mousetrap, and obviously there's a picture of the mousetrap. So the immediate curiosity loops here would be probably, and it's hard to think of yourself because I obviously have all the answers. You have all the context, so it's hard to think of these questions, but you can kind of infer what they might be. So you could be like, how is that gondola thing a trap? Um, is he hurting these mice? Uh, um, Why did he build this? Um, so those are like the first three. And yes, exactly, exactly. And so if we start with those curiosity loops, so actually what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do a nice chart above our whole story map, and we can have a curiosity map. And just because it's curiosity, let's maybe do like an octagon. Wait, no. Why would I change the shape? This is a better shape. This is just a better shape. So I think I want to basically go like this and go why did he build this? How did he build this? Probably not so much. This one's like a weaker curiosity curiosity gap, or curiosity loop. Is that what I said? Curiosity loop, yeah. Um, is he hurting the mice? What else did I say? How is that a trap? So I'm going to change this one actually. How is that a trap? Right. So I'm going to make this one green and I'll make this one purple. So when we're looking at this, let's move these down here. And so from this point, we can kind of go like, oh, maybe he is hurting them. Because I say I hate mice right here, right? How is that a trap? Doesn't get answered yet. It doesn't get answered until probably this point, right? The point that we're kind of working on right now. At this point, we will see how it's a trap. And then actually this loop ends right about here. So he's not hurting them. Yay. So that's one loop. Boom. That's closed. And so, and then this one kind of closes here. Why did he build this? This is kind of closed like here, right? The Y. So, so these loops all close right about here. So I need to add. I need to open up some more loops. And so what I kind of am thinking about here is we can add a loop, a new loop. Oh, okay, so we actually do open up a loop here. What if there was a way to take a more defensive approach? So we can go here. We make this yellow. Is a defensive approach gonna work? This is one that actually doesn't get answered until the end. So that's nice. I like seeing that. I like having that. And then technically we're going to open up another one here that's going to be like how hard is this going to be to build? Oh, nice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's actually great insight. So how hard is this going to be to build? We're going to answer that way over here. And we can even kind of double up on this. How hard is this going to be to build? Is this going to work? Is this going to function, I should say? And we kind of did answer this at the very beginning because we show it working just for a second. But this sort of things looking real good and then everything starts going bad. So at this point, it's like it's starting to look like this won't work. This won't function. And obviously, these are like broad questions. These are pretty broad questions. Um, and throughout the video, there's obviously going to be little mini ones. Like, how is he going to attach the gondola to the cable? And like all that. Like all those like really specific questions. And actually, like, we can even go like, why does he hate them? And then like this one's answered right there. Right, so there's a bunch of little ones. And this isn't something I'm actually going to like actively do too much. I'm not going to actively pay attention to this too much, but it is something that I can refer to if I'm like, ooh, this part's feeling a bit boring. Do I at least have something driving through this portion of the video that's keeping people here? Or is this just something that's just like we should just cut entirely because it doesn't actually add any curiosity? It doesn't make people ask questions. So we could kind of do that, but I sort of feel like every big section should add a bunch of questions. Right. And like this, obviously, we start off with a bunch of questions right here, so that's good. The strategy part. I mean, the strategy part is the why. It is this serves as answering a lot of these ones, so we can kind of leave that, and then it starts a new question here. Is a defensive strategy going to work? What other questions would you get from this section? Um, there's going to be some more like personal questions, I think. Like, does this guy like animals or not? I feel like that's sort of a question I want to remain unclear until we get closer to the end of the video. But we'll obviously tease it with like little dusty shots and stuff where they're like, oh, okay, he's got cats. Oh, he's got chickens, obviously. Okay. And then by the end of it, you're like, oh my God, he likes animals so much. This guy's a freak about animals, actually. That's sort of like a loose one, right? That one's more of like, that's not going to be something that people are probably thinking at the forefront of their minds, but it'll probably be sort of in the background. And that's where like the character development will come into it. But this part, I need this part to will he succeed? Which again, we kind of solved that already right at the beginning by showing it sort of working. Just not living. Yeah, that's actually where I draw the line pretty much. Uh so I think this is where a lot of videos fail, right? And this is what I'm trying to avoid. You get through this whole intro part that ends up answering a lot of these questions. And so then people are kind of like, okay, um, I don't need to see the rest of the video now. All the questions I had from looking at the thumbnail, they're answered now. So I feel like how is that a trap is one that we could maybe postpone a little bit. Ooh, actually. Yeah, because I am basically when we're going through this, like this whole thing is the why. I just feel like this is such a strong there's such a strong curiosity about like how is this a trap? But that is probably one that I should pay off right away. Is he hurting the mice? Is kind of a good curiosity. Why did he build this? How is that a trap? These both kind of get answered at the same time ish around this general area. So I need to generate some big curiosity here. I think probably the biggest curiosity I'm going to be able to generate by showing the plan and then showing the contradicting clips of it. Actually, maybe that's what we do. Maybe instead of focusing, because originally I was like, okay, the anatomy of a basic gondola thing, I was trying to make it so that, like, as I'm explaining the anatomy of a basic gondola, I'm only showing clips before we actually get to the part with the major challenges. But now I'm thinking, so here's what I was originally thinking. I'm gonna draw this out down here. Here's what I was originally thinking, right? Anatomy of a gondola, and that leads into the tick problem going down the hill, and that leads into engineering issues slash major fails, which then ultimately leads into finally success. And so what kind of actually happened in the real timeline? Oops. Okay, this is getting. So we're going to go with storyline. And then we're going to go with reality timeline. And so in reality, like, I'm basically replacing, this was all just planning stage. And then I went and cleared the hill. And then what actually happened is I built the towers and did the cable and got it like 95% done. And then we got into major fails. And then we got into finally success. Was I asking about kid questions, Jeff? Yeah, so we were just mapping out basically what I have this curiosity map. And so it starts with, this is sort of how I like how this is a good way to sort of think about how YouTube videos can be perceived. And so it helps to sort of plan a video thinking about this stuff to help with retention and whatnot. It's like real. It's kind of weird, but it's helpful stuff. So this is the thumbnail and title, right? I built the world's longest mousetrap, and you see this. It's all good. It's all good. It's I mean, this is the kind of stuff that I'm going to try and be thinking about throughout the entire remainder of making the video. But when you look at this, basically what I want to know is, when you look at this thumbnail and read this title, what are the questions that you immediately think of? And to me, I think people would think things like, how is that gondola thing a trap? Is he hurting these mice? And why did he build this? Those but it's hard for me as the person who's been working on this. It's hard for me to really understand what people are going to be wondering when they see this. And then the key is, throughout this video, we're going to be answering these questions, right? So how did he build this trap? How is that even a trap? And is he hurting the mice? And throughout the video, we're going to be answering this question. So is he hurting the mice? At this point, you might be thinking, oh, I think he's going to hurt these mice. And then by the time you get to the plan stage, you realize, okay, he's not hurting the mice. So this is a closed loop now. That's a closed loop. And the key is, before all of these 3 loops close, I need to start opening new loops. And I basically need a chain of loops throughout this video. So there's never a point where I've closed all the loops and people are like, okay, I'm satisfied. I have no more questions about this video. I don't need to watch this video anymore. That's nice. Yeah, the loops concept makes a lot of sense. It's actually really, really difficult to implement it. Um, choice of marriage, but this is what. So I want to get back to this because here's what I was originally thinking with the storyline starting from the after the intro, right? Starting from after we go through the strategy and the plan, we get to the blueprint anatomy of a basic gondola stage. And so originally I was thinking I'm going to hand the kid my phone and let her ask whatever she wants and you can use it or ignore it. Okay, that sounds good. Thank you. Should I put the thumbnail? I'm going to put the thumbnail in screen here in the shot. I can get rid of that. So I'm curious what questions you might have when looking at this image and seeing this. Okay, how long? That's a good question. That's a great question. Oops. How long have I been planning this for? Oh, and so then I guess that could also be how long is slash how long did this take to make? That's a great question. How many feet down the hill? How many feet down the hill is it? Great question as well. This is wonderful. This is great. This is great information here. Let's format this a little bit nicer now. Oh. How fast can it go? These are great because these are all questions that we will be answering much later in the video. So I'm very happy that these are the questions that you're thinking of. Oh, still staying hydrated. Still staying hydrated. I would have never thought about these questions. So this is wonderful. Exactly. So we can elaborate on these questions. We can expand upon these questions before we actually answer them too, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. Do you put cheese in it? What's the bait? Is there bait? How do they get in there? Nice. Are the mites paid out? How do they get in there is perfect because that is also a question that we will be. Oh, that's actually a great question. That's a great question that I can avoid answering for a very long time. We can answer that And I think that's a really strong question because you're probably looking at this and saying, "What? How are there mice? How do they get in there? What like are you putting them in there by hand? I don't understand." So that's a perfect question. How do you clean it? That's actually a question I don't even have an answer for yet. How do you clean it? That's a great question. I think I'm just gonna spray it with hose. But actually, yeah, what if they pee in it? What if they pee in it? That's a great thing. Um, and that actually leads to, um, won't it be gross to handle? Because that is actually something that we. So this I actually have a good answer for all of these. How do you clean it? Well, it's actually going to be better if you don't clean it. And I actually did think about that when building this because the whole purpose of these is you never have to touch these with your hand. And the reason it's better to not clean it is because the mice will be more attracted to it if it smells like mice. And they will 100% pee in it. It's guaranteed. Um, but you don't even want to touch it with your hands because then the smell of humans will make them less likely to go in the trap. So that is a great question, and we have, I think, a really good answer for that. Because a large part of the engineering and the design of this was so that you don't ever have to actually touch it. Thus, you never have to clean it. Thus, you're actually not supposed to clean it. But if you need to, you can just hose it out. If it gets really bad, you can just throw it. You can just spray it with a hose. I do wonder if at some point they start avoiding the gondolas because they smell scared mouse instead of. That's what I'm wondering too. And this will be. That's a good question. Yeah. Yeah. True. True. That could be a follow up. Are they going to start learning? That's probably not a question you're going to ask when you first see this, but that is a question. How long have the mice been terrorizing your chickens? How long have you had a mouse problem? They actually don't seem to terrorize the chickens at all. The chickens seem to have, in fact, chickens will actually eat mice, but the mice only come out when the chickens are all asleep. And so the chickens, as far as I'm aware, don't even know the mice are there. Um, the problem is they terrorize me. I don't want them in there. Great question. That's a beautiful question. Um, this is probably great. This is a this is giving me a lot to work with. Um, I can definitely start with that. I mean, this is more than enough. This is way more than I had originally, and these are questions that I wouldn't have thought of, and so this is perfect. So thank you so much for these questions. Uh, and if you have more, keep them coming. Keep them coming. But I want to. I think I have a solution for this whole. I I might I might request your services at a later point for more questions later on in the video planning stage, but this is perfect for now. Um, so back to the anatomy of a gondola scene. So originally I was thinking, while explaining the anatomy of a gondola, I wanted to have the footage of me because I was thinking the bank heist because bank heist planning exposition. So in a bank heist scene, they have the planning exposition, so somebody explaining the plan, and then the actual shot is the people doing the plan. But this only really works, and the reason I was going to do that is because did I like making the gondola? That's a great question because it was it's a mixed bag of emotions. I enjoyed lots of it. I did not enjoy a lot of it. I loved making the actual stuff. I really disliked the amount of walking I had to do, which is so funny. I had to hike so much. Okay, I'm lost. I'm lost. Here we go. So the reason the bank heist thing works is because what problems did I not expect? Oh yeah, now Ruby's getting in on this. This is great. What were the unexpected issues? So many. So many. Oh, are the mice cute? I can answer that immediately. Yes. They're actually probably the cutest mice I've ever seen in my life. Um, and that's what's gonna really seal the deal on this video because they are absolutely adorable. They're tiny too. They're like maybe about that big, like the size of a frog. Really, really small. um, so the purpose of the bank heist trope. Where is it? Okay. The purpose of the bank heist trope is to get through a lot of the nonsense. It's to get through a lot of the boring engineering of the plan. That concludes the girl questions. That's perfect. Thank you so much. I got them all. I got them all written down too. um so the reason the bank heist trope works is because if they were to oh no worries no worries if in a movie they were to explain the plan and then show them doing the plan, that would just be redundant. You've already heard the plan, you don't need to see them doing it again. So they do that so that they can explain the plan with exposition, saving a ton of time, but then they can show instead of just a block of exposition, they're actually showing the things happen. But the whole point of that is usually all of the stuff that they're showing happening is what happens before things start going wrong. And the drama in the movie is when the bank heist goes wrong or when there's issues. So that's why I was so locked into the idea of when I'm explaining the anatomy of a gondola, I can only use the footage up to this point, building the towers and getting it like 95% done before any of the major fails happen. And so I was thinking, okay, I can get through a lot of the initial build part and then the actual drama of the video starts when there's major fails. And that's sort of what the bank heist trope is. But there's another thing we could do instead of a bank heist trope. When I'm describing the anatomy of a gondola, the problem with the bank heist trope is it only works if the next thing that happens right at the end of the exposition of the plan, something so dramatic happens that you have to stick around. But in my case, it wasn't like that. It was like a lot of stuff was going really well. Like we got like most of the gondola done, and then things started to slowly go wrong. What up, boat? Things started to slowly go wrong. And so it's going to be hard for me to do this bank heist trope and then have something that, and for clarity, I'm saying this out loud to try and figure out what I'm actually thinking. I don't know if this is right or not yet, so bear with me. So instead of doing the bank heist trope, I can explain the anatomy of a gondola, and I can actually I can explain the anatomy of a gondola talking about how easy it's going to be, and I can actually show the major failures here. So it's kind of a twist on the bank heist trope, because usually with the bank heist trope, you're explaining. No worries. No worries. It's good to have you here. Um, we're outlining the video boat. The gondola is basically fully functioning now. Couple little issues, but they take me so long to do. But it's like I only have to do little tweaks here and there. It's just so much effort to go down the hill and do it. So I'm just doing it. I'm just gonna kind of refine the gondola over the next few days. The real bottleneck right now in this whole project is figuring out the video. So we've been working on like a map. Yeah. We've been working on a map for the actual plot of this video because I really want to nail this. I want to make sure that we're putting the best video forward. And the more we plan at this stage, just the faster it's going to be to actually cut and edit this video and film this video. So, and most of it's filmed. Most of the footage is going to be the live stream stuff and the stuff that I filmed along the way. But obviously, there's going to be a lot of the cinematic stuff that I haven't filmed yet that we've planned a lot already, and we're going to continue planning that stuff. So that's the plan. I'm stuck at this point where basically I've already explained the what and the why of this whole video, and I've explained sort of how I'm going to do it. And this is the issue. When I'm explaining how we're going to solve this and how we're going to build this gondola, I'm trying to do it in a way that doesn't answer every question and isn't just exposition about, oh, I have to do this, then I have to do this, then I have to do this, then I have to do this. I want there to be some conflict here. I want there to be some drama. I want there to be some drama here. And so what I'm thinking about doing, originally I was going to do a bank heist thing where I have the blueprint of the gondola and I'm explaining all the things that I need to build for this gondola, and then I was going to have idea old but gold, but how about the big action issue? Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how we got here. that's a good like beginning. I think we've got the intro. I think we've got the intro pretty fleshed out here. I'm just trying to transition from the intro into the meat of the video, the actual engineering and the actual trials and tribulations. And the intro's super cinematic, and we have like this whole war table scene and everything like that, and there's all this cinematic stuff. And so to transition from that into just like live stream footage and stuff is a bit hard. And I don't want to do the typical video where it's like chronological, where it's just like straight up, I did this, and then I did this, and then this problem happened, and then I had to do this, and then this problem happened, and then I had to do this. That works, but I think there's a better way that I can do this that is more like a movie, um, where we can gloss over a lot of stuff and then come back to certain things and like kind of pick different areas and be a little bit more loose with the timeline of it, because I think that'll make for, this project dragged on a lot. It was quite a slow process, and so I don't want to bore people, right? I want to like get to the meat of things really quickly, pull back, touch on something that happened in the past, come forward again, keep keep kind of like referencing things. So what I'm thinking here now, originally I was going to go, here's my blueprint of the gondola. Here are the things I need to do. And then I was going to, while I'm explaining the blueprint, I was going to have the actual live shots of me doing those things. And then I was talking with my wife last night, and she was like, "Oh, it'd be really funny if, while you're explaining the things that you're going to do and how easy it's going to be, show yourself struggling to do exactly those things." The problem is, I didn't really struggle with any of this stuff until the end. And then the other problem is, if I wanted to do this in chronological order, when I'm actually explaining the anatomy of a gondola, if I was actually just telling somebody, here's my plan, here's the blueprint, I would be giving them like a spark notes of the entire thing. I wouldn't be focusing on just like the beginning stages of the build here. I would be giving like a really rough idea of what the entire thing's going to do. And so I'm thinking about describing the build and how like the gondola is going to work in super generic terms, being very, very vague, acting like this is going to be the easiest thing to build, and then while I'm explaining that, showing footage of it not working at all. And the reason this could be useful is it's going to make people question whether or not I actually accomplished this or not. And I think that's a pretty big question to be had at this point in the video, especially after the intro basically shows the gondola working for like a quick little second. So right at the beginning of the video, you're like, okay, he actually built this thing. It looks like it works. But then once we get to this point, you're like, okay, it looks like it was actually really difficult to build. And does it even work? I don't even know if he's got this to work yet or not. And so that's kind of where I want to go with it. So when we're talking about the anatomy of a gondola, I want to. Oh man, every time I leave Canva, I start really like getting lost. Is any of this making sense? Like, am I just like blabbering and totally losing people, or is this kind of making sense? Because I'm not sure myself. So what do we have then? What's my consumer mind feasting on? Many curiosity questions. It's all in this flowchart he's built within a web app I've used for nearly a decade, but never knew I could do this. Teach a lesson in 9 minutes. I don't expect that to impact y'all, though. The did he do it question. Do you have any footage of you being excited that the gondola is working and then immediately failing? I think so. I think so. Oh my god, yay. Well, that's sweet. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think you were there. I think you were there when that specific thing happened. But let me just show you what we've got in our timeline so far. Okay, so it works out like this. So first of all, here's the thumbnail and title for the video right now. This can always change after things as well. But this is sort of a draft of the thumbnail. It's going to look like this. So obviously you can see the mice in there. Gondola looks pretty good. I changed the background so there's no trees, so things are a lot more clear. I need to show that there's a cable coming down here. It deleted the cable when I got rid of the background. So maybe you can open with Jeff's excitement plus immediate failure. So the did he do it question is more open. I hear like wild and free orchestra music, then it does the record slow down, stop, and sound music dies. Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking that I don't want to start the video with that, but I'm gonna get to that like really quick. I will get to that, and I do think that's going to be an important thing. Um, so here's how the video starts. Boat. We've got a few things here. So we've got a legend, and this is the main timeline of the video. You could see the beginning here is a lot more fleshed out. We have a legend. So all the blue squares. Exactly. So all the blue squares are the moments in the video. Purple squares are the actual description of the shots, the visuals. Yellow squares is the dialogue. I'm actually speaking to the camera. Green squares is voiceover dialogue. So this is me just recording the vocals or the voice over after. And then gray is just extra notes I need to have. And then on top of all of this, we have a curiosity map. And so this is how I'm sort of they're the real treasure, or are the real are they the real friends? The curiosity map is the key to retention. So basically, how this works is these are kind of the three questions I thought people would have after seeing this gondola, but we've since generated a bunch more questions, thanks to Aaron and Abby's daughter, as well as Ruby, and everybody kind of contributed to the questions here. But just to understand how the curiosity map works, I haven't added any of these questions to it. But basically, these are the questions that start the video. And the goal with this is we want to answer these questions, obviously. But we don't want to just answer. If you just answered these questions right at the beginning of the video, then there's no reason to keep watching, right? So the key is you want to drag these questions. You want to answer some of them immediately, but you also want to drag some of them on to the point where you can start introducing new questions before you've answered all of the questions. And that's how you chain the engagement along, right? So you want people to be starting to ask new questions before the original questions are answered. And so that's what the curiosity map does. So, here's how the video starts. The video is going to open up with beauty shots of the gondolas. I'm going to have the first shot of the whole video is going to be my phone camera taped to a gondola, looking inside of a gondola filled with mice, and me moving that gondola from the ground and hanging it onto the actual system. And so that'll be a POV shot from the mice perspective, basically. And then I'm going to show a close-up shot of the control board, getting things going, showing the bull wheel starting to rotate, and then it'll be a static shot of the camera in front of one of the gondolas as the gondola approaches the camera and gets really close to it, and you can see the mice. And then the shot's going to freeze, and then the voiceover is going to kick in, and I'm going to say, I hate mice. Right? So immediately we have a new question. Why does he hate the mice? Um, and it starts to answer this one: is he hurting the mice? And it's like, oh, he might be hurting the mice if he hates them. Um, then the next shot is some security camera footage of the mice, and I say specifically this species, the North American deer mouse. They might look cute and small, but they are terrifying. And so I'll have a couple mice in a tank while I'm saying this on camera. And then it just cuts immediately to some news coverage. All right, we'll see you in a bit, Aaron. Then we cut immediately to some news coverage of reports of hantavirus and deer mice spreading disease and stuff, and that answers why he hates the mice, right? So why does he hate them? Oh, that's why. They spread disease. And then I basically say I need to get rid of them. So maybe I'm being a hypochondriac, but I'm tired of having to suit up like it's a biohazard risk every time I do basic chores on my property. As far as I'm concerned, this is war. And then I'm wearing PPE, and then I enter my chicken coop. There's a label on the chicken coop door that says chicken coop, and then that match cuts to a shot of the label, the chicken coop label on a topographic map, which ends up being the war table. And this whole war table scene is where I describe how the mice occupy the area completely, but how they always congregate where my chicken coop is, because that's where the food is, that's where shelter is and stuff. And so, and then in this section, I basically say, like, the typical strategy is to eliminate them, but what if there's a way we can do it without killing them? And so then we go into the plan, and the planning stage is still using the topographic maps. This is still all part of the war planning stage. All of this is going to happen in like a few seconds, like 30 seconds probably. This whole section here is going to be like 30 seconds, so really quick. And then once I go through the plan, I basically say, so in order to get these mice out of here in a humane way, I need to build something. And then that's where I reveal the gondola plan, which isn't a big reveal because we obviously know from the thumbnail and from the intro that I'm going to build this gondola. But what the reveal does is it gives me an opportunity to explain how this gondola is supposed to work and how easy it's going to be to build. Because that's genuinely what I thought when I started this project. I was like, okay, this can't be that difficult. And I'm glad it ended up being extremely difficult, because that's where the rest of this whole video is. That's where the drama is gonna be for the rest of this whole video, is me basically completely underestimating the challenge of this, completely underestimating how much I'm gonna dislike a lot of it, but also it's also underestimating how much I'm gonna enjoy certain things as well. So a lot of this section here, which we've been working on, and I stopped yesterday because I couldn't figure this out, and I thought about it all last night, and I've been continuing to think about it today. How we're going to transfer from this super cinematic thing into me actually going through the actual build process and getting more from a cinematic, like, exposition description of the project to more of like a live, this is what's happening right now kind of phase of the video. And that's where we're at. That's where we're at. And this is a really fun way to visualize things. I think I've never done a video like this before. I'm always actually the last couple videos I used AI to help me write the script, and it was helpful because I feel like AI is really good at condensing ideas down into the shortest possible amount of words. But the issue with it is I feel like it loses a lot. Like it always kind of ends up sounding the same. It loses a lot of the personal. Um, wait, what? Can you give me an example of a movie like that? Because I literally can't think of that, and that sounds so cool to me. Yeah, it loses a lot of the charm, and so this video I wanted to. I had already like this whole intro bit. I did a little bit through AI to figure it out, but I've rewritten it now completely not AI'd, and so this is now in my tone and stuff, and it's not totally ironed in yet, but um, this is much closer to how I think I would approach this personally. Um, and so yeah, I've never done a video like this. Uh, Before I started using AI on videos, I was literally most of my videos were just engineering videos, so I was just like doing it straight up. Like, here's what I did. Here's what I did next. Here's what I did next. Oh, this was a problem, so then I fixed it this way. Very typical YouTube video thing, which is fine, but I wanted to do something a little more engaging, and I wanted to actually think about engagement in this, and but I still want it to feel like a YouTube video, right? I don't want it to feel like this super scripted thing, and that's why I'm also, for the first time ever, I think I'm gonna try and do this whole video without a teleprompter. I'm gonna try and do this all off the cuff, and that's why I'm also not focusing too much on like scripting it directly. I'll read, obviously, the voiceover things I can do. I'll read them. I'm not gonna go off the cuff on those, but I'm going to try and rely a lot more on the things I actually said during the actual build while I was talking to you guys in the live stream, which is actually honestly so good. It's so nice that I had people watching throughout this, because then I was describing things throughout this whole thing, which if I'm building on my own, I usually don't talk at all. So I just gotta go to the bathroom. I've been drinking so much water lately. I gotta get a new water as well. So give me a couple minutes here. Mary Poppins does animate to live action, animated to live action, mixing the really old Disney movie. Space Jam does it. True. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I haven't seen these in so long. Bed knobs and broomsticks. I had to look it up. Okay, I might literally watch that tonight. I think Steph would be so down as well. That might be a really exciting thing. Um, I think I do think that's sort of the vibe, right? Because we're gonna go from this hyper scripted cinematic silly thing into a much more real live action, like literally live action supercut of this whole thing. I wonder if I feel like she would have it too. I don't have a VHS player though. Um, this has been driving me crazy. These lines here, I gotta pull these out. Look how cool this is though. This is like it's so easy to make this look good, and that's what's nice about this whole thing. I'm so thrilled with how well this whole thing works. I legitimately did not expect this to be so useful. I'm going to be using this probably forever now. Um, so I think the goal here is when I'm explaining the anatomy of a basic gondola, I want to be very, very vague with the plan. So I'm just gonna word vomit for a little bit. I know a gondola might seem like a ridiculous solution, but I think it's actually the perfect. I think it's actually the perfect plan. Gondolas are just glorified clotheslines. Pretty easy build considering the scale. My property sits on a hill. Hmm. It's hard to write this in retrospect because I want this to feel like this is acting obviously. Like this part is going to be me pretending like I haven't actually built any of this yet and I'm a bad actor. So I want to I want to keep this pretty vague, keep it close to what I would probably be describe. I wonder if I've even said this yet. I might have actually said this before. Let's talk about the gondola for a moment. Video idea because this is what people, earlier today I was on stream and we were kind of talking about I need to be faster at making content. I need to do more interesting things. And then I was talking to my buddy who's a YouTuber and he was mentioning how, he stopped spending so much time on crazy projects and like is really focusing on efficiency. And yeah, I totally agree. And hilarious in hindsight because this is by far the longest I've spent on a single project. I'm gonna abandon all of that right
Oh,
now.
oh, there we go. I'm gonna abandon all that right now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I can zoom all the way out on this. I can zoom all the way out on this. Okay, so it's good. It's good to know that I had the hindsight to realize this was actually gonna be a big project. That's so funny though. I all of that right now because sorry, sorry. God, I burp a lot on sparkling water. I'm gonna abandon all that right now because I do have an idea that I think is crazy, and I've already mentioned it on this channel before. But I kind of just want to walk through, and since I want to show my ideation process, I can show also my like researching and validation process as well. And so the plan is it's fun to look back at this stuff in hindsight because I have no idea. I don't remember at all what I was thinking at this point. It's been 2 months since this. I wish. Wait, does it show me when? Oh, no, I downloaded it yesterday, so that's what it's saying. Um, I have an idea of what I felt back then, but I don't actually know, and so this is really fun to watch because it's fun for me. I don't know if it's fun for anybody else, but it's fun to it's fun to see. This is actually the main core of what the video is going to be about. It's a character growth thing. And so I need to understand where I was coming from initially and where I'm at now and be able to draw that line throughout the entire video. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I want to try and make
I know, it's so bright I had a bushy tailed.
a gondola system so that I can trap mice on the upper part of my property and transport them to the lower part of my property with minimal effort, and it'll be cute. And that's the whole idea. And it's crazy. It's a crazy ambitious thing to do for such a ridiculous reason, but I think that's kind of the point. And this is something that I would actually do. This isn't like I think this is a great video idea because this is what people would come up with for a video, but this is actually something that I thought of genuinely before thinking that it would be a good video idea. So okay, so first off, that's already this is so great that I have this footage because already I was like, how would I describe this to somebody 2 months ago? Well, what's funny about that is I didn't know that people. I literally thought gondolas were only the cable cars thing. I didn't realize that boats were also called gondolas. Until I started researching this, and I was like, why am I getting all these pictures of boats? And then I realized, oh, wait, yeah. So I might use the term gondola and ski lift interchangeably. Because I think when you say gondola, you're actually kind of talking about the car. You're not necessarily talking about the whole thing. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But I don't think any of that. Um. Anyways, I want to capture exactly. This is so funny. Most people know gondola as the boat. Yeah, so maybe I should clarify that at this point. Video, but this is actually something that I thought of genuinely. This isn't And that's the whole idea. Trap mice on my. I'm gonna try and make a gondola system so that I can trap mice on the upper part of my property and transport them to the lower part of my property with minimal effort. Um, so, but I think it's actually the perfect plan. um, yeah. That's what I discovered while I was researching. Um, I think it's gonna be the best way to trap mice up at the top of my property and transfer them down to the bottom part of my property with the least amount of effort on a daily basis. I'm just writing stuff down. None of this is actually the script. I'm just trying to understand where I was coming from initially. Yeah, I can do like uh obviously I'm referring to these kinds of gondolas. Pick of peak to peak. Not these. Pick of boat. It's so funny that boat hound. Most people know gondola as the boat. Says boat hound. I didn't know they were a boat. I didn't know it was a boat. It's amazing how much planning can go into less than 5 seconds of a video. Yeah, and it's like the whole intro part of this video. I've been planning since day one. Um, and as the video proceeds, less and less planning is required. But this part of the video is so crucial. Yeah, I'll probably do that because that's my genuine that's the real situation. Um, the beginning part of a video is the most important part. That's the part where I need to be super meticulous. I need to be very conscious about all of these things. Once you have people for a few minutes, then you can be a little more lax on the planning stuff and kind of just rely on the edit and the footage to carry the story. Maybe that's the next video. Maybe that's the next video. Um, but this is it'll be cute. It'll be cute. No, this isn't like ticking all the boxes right now. The only box it's not ticking is it's not going to be easy to do. It would be a good video idea. So I think it's kind of ticking all the boxes right now. The only box it's not ticking is it's not going to be easy to do. It might take a long time to do. It's probably going to cost money. I mean, it definitely will, but it might cost like more than I'm willing to spend. But we'll see. That part's so we're still good. That's the plan. So I want to just start DIY gondola. And I just want to look and I just want to see what is out there because I've definitely seen people make gondolas before. Do I I've definitely seen. Is this where I realize that they're boats, or did I realize this before? That's fun. A little zombie gondola. Zombola. I've definitely seen. Yeah, maybe. DIY functioning model gondola. I think at this point I already had done enough research that I realized that.
This is basically the system I'm going to have to make. Yeah, I don't want the angled things. But I think this just has the opportunity to be fun, cute, exciting. Everybody knows what a gondola is. Everybody knows what mice are.
Everybody knows what a gondola is. Apparently, everybody thinks they're boats.
And that's what I really want to. That's why I'm considering doing this video now. Theoretically, I have like 17 days to release this next video, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna be able to do this in that time frame. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see if I can either extend
Aerial
or
tram.
maybe figure out a way that it is possible.
Maybe I don't say gondola at all. Maybe I just avoid the word gondola. I don't need to say it. Well, I've been saying it a lot in the lives. I've been saying it a lot in the lives, so I probably should clarify that.
For one, it's going through a part of my property that is going to be heavily.
Okay, wait. What did I say?
See if I can either extend or like maybe figure out a way that it is possible. But it's going to be so much more complex than just a gondola system. Because, for one, it's going through a part of my property that is.
Okay, so I actually did have the forethought to realize this was going to take a long time.
It's going to be heavily overgrown right now, so I'm going to have to spend the day to like clear.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
And then it's also going to continue to overgrow. So, and this might be a part 2 thing, but I was thinking about making a car that actually I send down and it clears the way, and I can do that every couple months or whatever. So that's like, maybe that's a way we can cut the time. Is just like, don't worry about that part now. But again, we're talking like it's like 500 feet away.
500 feet, only 250.
Actually, I don't know. It might be like 250 feet away.
Whoa!
Actually, no. It's really far. Like I can't see, but it's because it's totally overgrown. Anyways, we'll figure that out. But the other thing about this is it's very packageable, right? So video dorm. I've never choices.
Okay, now this is talking about YouTube theory, so
let's just
this was all about packaging, so I don't need it.
Let's see what it comes.
Wait, what? Oh yeah, I was singing Michael Jackson.
From up here. Okay, try gondola. In Pacific Rail with chairlift because I feel like that is actually garden scale gondola. This is by
all those times up and down make you think about how good the mice have it. Yeah.
Pacific Railroad.
Oh, I would love.
Shout out.
I want a little side by side or something that I can just drive around the property. That would be so nice.
Nice. Oh. Okay, interesting. It's just like giant bike wheels, and I think that's what I'll use. I'll just take apart a bike, and it looks like it has. Yeah, I think I can just take apart a bike. A steel haul rope.
Okay.
Airline. I was wondering for cable required. I won't articulate. Oh, hello. Yeah. I feel bad
So I'm going to create a gondola system so that I can trap them at night and then tie them, put the traps up on the gondola and send them downhill, way down to the bottom of my property. That's actually a big reason why I wanted to do the YouTube thing, because we definitely want to have kids. And I would love to be able to work from home and basically just be a kid and get to do these fun things and like um I think homeschooling is what we would want to do too, but I can teach I could teach a lot about math and all that stuff while working on these projects and stuff too. So I was just that's definitely a big factor. That's a big factor why I stopped touring, and why, because touring is like the opposite of what you want to be doing when you have children. So um, I think it would be so cool. I think it would be so cool to be able to do this stuff with children. It's basically just like relocating mice using the most ridiculous method. Um, I think it'll be a great engineering challenge. The big challenge is going to be having a trap which is shaped like a gondola like this. Obviously, it'll be way bigger than that. It'll probably capture like 20 mouse at a time. 20 mouse. But then having this gondola system so that I hang it on the wire and it sends it down the hill, and then when it gets to the bottom of the hill, it somehow actuates totally a trap door on the bottom. A touring life is very fun and very cool, but it's not for families. It's like the worst career you can have for families. Um, I met a lot of people that tour with families, and I don't think there's anybody that truly enjoys it when they have a family, or they don't want to be in a family, and they're using it as an opportunity to get away. But yeah, totally, totally. I mean, that is the thing. The entertainment industry in general is pretty tough on families, but I do think a YouTube one where it's like basically no live component to it, if you don't want to, everything can be behind the scenes, and then you don't you get to just stay home. That's the big thing. It releases the mice at the bottom of the hill, and then it'll loop around and come back as an empty trap. It's going to be a big project. The reason I'm like motivated to do it right now is because I need I need I need some big ideas. I need some big ideas for this channel. Um, and to like kind of fill the music void, I'll write a nice song about it too. But I want to do something that's more like general audience. Like, look at this little guy. You know what I mean? So, at least pushing my own boundaries. That's the okay. $40 is and oh, jaw's cracking. I'm yawning so much today, and I'm not tired. It's just because I'm not getting proper air because it's so smoky. My lungs are not stoked with the current. Curious what you think of this packaging, of the vibe of the video. Quickly take. I'm gonna have a bunch of gondolas, so it's there's gonna be like a train because I want to have like 4 or 5 traps set up. We're down to two traps, but that's okay. All right. Planning the gondola build. People that need. But yo, down today. I'm in early. basically work on this stuff all day if I can on that, but I'll obviously change. These gonna interface with the cable. Uh, yeah, and of course, it's all my schedule, which I've kind of set a precedent for that as well because I think a lot of people that do YouTube, they do sort of trap themselves in a bit of a schedule thing, where like they're beholden to sponsors, they're beholden to an audience expecting a video at a certain time. Um, I actually didn't do this intentionally for this reason, but it's something that now in hindsight I want to maintain is I want to make sure my sponsors always understand I'm working at whatever pace I can. It's not going to be yeah, exactly. Um, I want to be in a position where I can always put family first. I can always put things first. Because the nice thing is I don't need motivation to work on this stuff. This is what I want to do. I don't need external motivation. I don't need people telling me that I need to be done this at a certain time. Um, I could be better at being more efficient with my time, but I always want to be able to work at my own pace. And if I can figure out how to do that in a way where at least I can have results, financial results that are good enough, that'll be the ultimate. That'll be the ultimate source of freedom. And then also the fact that like my videos are so random. I'm not sticking to a niche. I'm trying really hard to not. I've When I started this channel, I was locked into this like LED lighting niche thing. At least I thought I was, because the videos I was making that got views were the ones that were about this lighting rig thing, and so I was like, oh no, now I gotta make videos about this lighting rig. But now I've gotten to the point where I don't care. I'm just gonna make whatever I want to make, whatever I think is gonna be fun, and that's where we're at now. And I feel really good about that. Um, the the obviously the sponsor clearly gave me the time to work on this, and that's the kind of sponsor I want to be working with. I don't want to be beholden to deadlines that strongly. It's just impossible with this kind of stuff where you can plan as much as you want, but you never know how it's going to turn out and how much time it's actually going to take. So all of this is like culminating to a potential career where I'm just going to be able to have the ultimate freedom. Hopefully. Hopefully. Every time AP has thought about going to get a real job, the opportunity cost is so high that it'd be so much more work for so little extra. Well, and this is exactly where I'm at too. And I just want to get, I feel like I should probably give some context about this because I don't talk about this very much, and I haven't been clear about this, but I feel like you guys probably are curious about sort of like my living situation and stuff. So I had a really good job. I had it was a work from home job. I was a technical recruiter, and um, well, I can reiterate this for you as well because um, this is just like Jeff character arc stuff, um, that I don't think really anybody except for people close to me know. So may as well talk about it. Oh, I love Corey Wong. I love Corey Wong. Um, I had an amazing job. I got I got paid extremely well to do recruiting, which and it was work from home. And we originally lived in the city, and then when we moved out to the country, the company I worked for, they're like, yeah, you can do this totally remote. You don't even ever have to come into the office, basically. Maybe like once every quarter or something like that, which is totally fine. Um, and so yeah, like I was in a really good position, making more money than I've ever made by like a long shot. And it was commission based, so it just kept going up and up and up. And the problem is the work was like the opposite of anything I ever wanted to do. It felt I loved my this is the other thing. Like I loved my coworkers. I had the best boss. Um and my coworkers were all like extremely wealthy people compared to me at the time. Um and so like it was for anybody that is like describing the perfect job. I think this is what it was. And it was a job where I really didn't have to do too much. I could have done more. Not only was it not soul filling, it was soul crushing because obviously I'm like an artist. My dad's an artist. You can hear like I have something in my throat and I can hear it when I inhale. You hear that? That's so weird. I don't like that. It's all this smoke. Um, it so I'm an artist and I've always wanted to do something. I don't know, and this is like my parents are the most supportive people ever, and I grew up maybe like a little bit spoiled. They always told me I can follow my dreams and that kind of stuff, and so like obviously I was in bands and stuff, and I was doing all this stuff, very close to being in very successful bands for a while, toured a bunch, and obviously wanted that music career so bad. But then COVID happened, so the touring stopped immediately, and so then I had to get a job. So then I found this job. My friend got me into it. No experience in it at all, but just straight up, just I knew a guy. And I ended up being really good at it, and so I ended up making a ton of money doing this. Um, and I was just like so unfulfilled from a creative perspective because this job, being a recruiter, it's like it's sold as like you're helping people find jobs, and like it seems like that's a noble thing, but it really felt like what it actually felt like is you're selling people to other people. And it just like I didn't feel like I was helping people. The companies that we were hiring people for weren't always the best to these people, and I would have to be the one that would have to like tell people they're getting cut off or whatever, and like, oh, they're ending your contract early or whatever. And it just ended up starting to feel a lot like people were the product and they weren't happy about it, and it made me feel really bad. And meanwhile, I started doing YouTube because I had wanted to do YouTube for years prior. But I started doing YouTube, and so then I came up with this video about this lighting rig I had made back when I was on tour. Um, Actually prior to tour, and I ended up bringing it on tour. It was a big success. So I was like, okay, I'll just make a video about this because this is something I have. I don't have time to actually make a new project right now, so I'll just make a video about a project I did before. And that video did super well. It's still my biggest video on YouTube. Um, and that gave me some false, because when that happened and it got like a few 100,000 views, and I got monetized immediately on YouTube, and I was like, okay, everyone says doing YouTube is extremely hard. It takes you like 100 videos to get monetized, and I did it in my first video. So I was like, oh man, I got this. I got this. And so we, so I thought about it for a long time. We had a lot of savings. We had moved into the country, and so like all our bills just got super low. And so I was like, okay, you know what? I think I want to take a risk on this. I want to um I don't want to do this job anymore, and I want to just like take a huge leap. And so I did. Um and then it proved to not be easy at all. And again, that video is still my biggest video. Not by much now. Now pretty much every video I put out in the last few videos have all done pretty well comparatively. Um, but it's taken a few years at this point. Luckily, again, Bill's pretty low, and it's getting to the point now where I'm like in the green, but just barely. Um, but it was one of those things where it's like, okay, you know, a year after quitting that job, and I quit that job with them saying you can come back anytime you want, and so that was another part. I was like, okay, I could always go back to that job. It's not actually a huge risk. Obviously, now it's been too long. If I really wanted to, I probably could, but it's one of those things that if I do go back to that job, I'm gonna have to stay there. Um, I won't have another chance to do that. And then on top of that, now we live in the country, and like I grew up in the city my whole life. Um, there's lots of 9 to 5 jobs that I could get that I'd be really interested in the city. Like I've always wanted to kind of work in like a prop department or something for like films and stuff like that. And Vancouver's amazing for that. There's tons of jobs like that. But obviously where I live now, there's nothing like that. And so I was kind of like in this position where I basically knew like there's only a few. Yeah, it's a huge life change. And to be fair, I was not ready when I was like I'm going to take a big leap on this. I was not ready at all. I did not realize how volatile the YouTube thing was. I did not realize how much discipline it would take on me. And yeah, yeah, exactly. No, and there was a lot of things that it's been a struggle. I'll say that. I'll say that. What you gain overnight can go away overnight. Exactly, exactly. And so I didn't do the proper thing. And if I was ever like consulting somebody who was doing YouTube, I number one thing would be don't quit your day job yet. Um, but I am in a position, or I was in a position where my folks are still very helpful, and they can support me a little bit, and obviously my family is very supportive, and I don't feel like I deserve the support I've been getting. um but hopefully we're getting there now. um at this stage, it's been like 3 years now. At this stage, and I was doing odd jobs and stuff like that throughout that whole thing, so it's not like there was zero income, and YouTube was paying. I was making money on YouTube over those years, but not much. Um, but every day we're working on this stuff. It's like closer to being I'm not regretting leaving that job. Um, and I don't regret it from like a soul perspective. Obviously, like it was really rough, and it's like such a spoiled mentality. Um, there's so many people that would kill to have a job like that, and I just like didn't. I took it so for granted. Um, but even looking back now, I'm like, I probably wouldn't have been able to do the YouTube if I maintained that. I wouldn't be where I'm at on YouTube right now if I maintained that job. Um, but every time I'm like, ugh, okay, I really probably should just like get a job at least until I'm starting to make more money. And then I look at the available jobs where I live, and it's like there's a couple options. They're not great. Like they're not going to be fulfilling, but at least it would be a really reliable paycheck and a decent one. But again, it's one of those things like if I take one of these jobs, there's only a handful around here, and if I take it, I pretty much have to commit to it because I'm not going to have a chance to go back. And so it's like it is a last resort thing. And so that is kind of the scary thing about this whole thing is the more effort I put into a video like this, uh obviously the more crucial it is that it does well. And obviously having a sponsorship and stuff like that makes the ability to earn way better. Um and actually makes it a realistic thing. But it's definitely like every video I put out feels there's a lot of pressure on it. There's a ton of pressure on it. But the nice thing is it does seem like I'm it does seem like things are trending in the right direction, and I'm realizing that type of pressure is actually really good for me. I'm actually um really motivated by it. But it is scary. It's extremely scary. And I am not um I'm not there yet. It is still very much like, if this video doesn't do well, things are gonna I'm gonna have to consider some things. Um, but I am at the point where like I don't think I could ever stop doing these videos. I enjoy it too much. I don't think I could ever stop making projects like this. I never did stop making projects like this. I was always making stuff like this. Um, but it's like, you know, some days I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh yeah, we got this. We got this. This is gonna be my career. We're gonna be very happy. We're gonna have all this flexibility. And then other days I'm like, ooh, I just wasted a ton of time. Um, I just wasted a ton of time on this dream, and I have no idea. I have no idea if it's gonna work. So that's a big emotional roller coaster. Um, but I do feel like every video I put out, I'm learning so much, and that is the issue with a video like this where I'm taking such a huge risk. This is 2 months of pretty much consistent work. Um, I've done. This is all a big risk. This is all a very big risk, and I'm so lucky to have the family that I have, and I just need to. I need to make it worth it for them. Um, because if I don't, I mean, I'll be fine. I'll be fine if after all of this I end up just like, you know what, I'll just get a job here and um everything's gonna be fine. But I just like personally on the inside, like if I can't make this work, I'll feel real real bad. But it doesn't have to work right now. Like this doesn't have to be the video that does it. It's just it would be great. It would be great if it was. Um, and obviously, there is no scenario where this is the one video. Um, best case scenario, this video does really well and it buys me some time, but it's an ongoing thing. I got to do the next video, and then I got to do the next video, and then I got to do the next video. So, but I am hoping that I can buy myself some time and keep doing this and keep getting better at this and keep uh, building a community and keep making cool things and inspiring other people to make cool things. If I can do that and we can have a family and I can just keep doing that, oh man. That is the dream. Um and it's way better than any of the other dreams I've had. Obviously, I dreamed of being a touring musician and I did that. And that wasn't as crazy and cool as I thought it was going to be. Um, it wasn't to the level that I wanted to. Obviously, I was like, I'd love to play stadiums and stuff, but I got a taste of it enough to realize that that wasn't the actual dream I actually wanted. Um, Doing this now and thinking about who I was as a child and all the things that pulled me in different directions growing up, this is like the perfect culmination of everything that would be meaningful to me and everything that would actually give me like and I like obviously the financial aspect's a big part of it, but it's like the least part of it. And obviously like money's not my driving force. I would way rather do this and make like a fraction of what I was making at that last job, and I'd be happy. And I actually think my family would be fine with that. But there is also a scenario where I could make enough to be for that job that I utterly hated to be something that I'm very, very glad that I left. And that's the goal. I want to get to a point where I'm like, oh, I made the right call leaving that job. And again, like such a good job for anybody that pretty much, yes, a great job for anybody that can do it. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it for long. Anyways, that's the spiel. That's the spiel. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Then I'm gonna come right back. So much water. I'm so hydrated right now. I'll come back. We'll maybe work for a little bit longer, and then I'll probably call it for today. But give me a couple mins. Okay. And for what it's worth, I I'm pretty embarrassed. That's why I don't talk about this stuff a lot. I'm pretty embarrassed about some of the decisions I made, and like the fact that I've like really dragged this on. It's not something I'm proud of, and I just felt like you guys deserve to know my situation, and I think I'm hoping that this can be something that I look back on, in a year hopefully, and then and then maybe this can be something that is. I mean, it's not an inspirational thing because I don't want people to make the decisions I made. So I guess it could be a cautionary tale or whatever. But I'm just hoping there's a there's a good happy ending um, that makes this whole thing worth it. Um, yeah, no, it's embarrassing because I don't feel like I've done my job as like a husband and like you know ideally a future father. Um, and so that's the embarrassing thing. And obviously we're in a transition phase. My goal is to get to that point, and my goal is to get to a point where not only can I provide, but I can also be at home and have this wonderful life that I can uh, share with my children one day. But we got to get there, and in order to get there, we got to write more of this script, and we got to get this video out, and I got to finish this thing. Um, there are seasons when you do creative work from home. Yeah, I think I just the issue the big issue is I never really set myself up with a proper like fallback. Um which I think is maybe good for me because like I don't have a degree in anything. I never finished college. I never finished university. I dropped out 3 times for 3 different things. I went to business school. I didn't actually I barely went to business school. Um I had to do some courses to get into business school, and I dropped out of those courses. And then I went to jazz school. Oh no, I did jazz school first. Did jazz school first, dropped out of that. Then wanted to do business. Had to do some courses to like upgrade to get into business school. Didn't get through those. And then I went to and then I got into a robotics course, and I was like, "Yes, I can do robotics. Obviously, I like that." And then but then the band I was in started like doing more stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna focus on the band, and then so I dropped to the robotics. I never even showed up to the first day of robotics school. Totally, and actually, the ironic thing about this career and working from home is I'm probably working more on this than I ever worked at any job. Um, but Steph can come in here whenever she wants, and I can just be like, okay, be right back. We're gonna go do some stuff. That's the kind of flexibility I want. And actually, with the job that I had, I did kind of have that flexibility. It was so chill. I could just be like, yo, boss, gotta go do this thing for a couple hours, and it would be fine. The problem with that job though is that was technically a 9 to 5, but I was working 24/7, dreaming about that job, nightmares about that job. So it didn't feel like I ever stopped. That job was brutal for that. Um, the clients and stuff could call me any time of the day, any time of the night, and I would have to take them. So, um, this is simultaneously a lot more chill and a lot more stressful. Um, but again, like I'm not, I don't. I just want to get to a point where it's enough. I don't need to go crazy with this. I can just if I can get to a point where I can coast on this, then I'm gonna be so happy. I said it before, but we have a lot in common. No, I know. Yeah, I mean, I assume Aaron and I always talk about how much we have in common as well, and it's just like I think a lot of people are like this. I don't think we're necessarily rare types of people. Um, the world just isn't really set up for people like us. I don't think it makes it hard for creative people to do things. Um, I don't know why. Okay, I've got probably like half an hour left in me. I've been talking so much, and the air quality is so bad here, so like I'm not breathing that good. The internet makes it easy to find each other, though. That's the thing. That's the thing. Um, we're still transitioning out of the intro. We're still figuring that out. I think I have the core idea. I just need to find the words and figure out if it's going to work. Um, but but I think I have the basic idea, and the basic idea is going to be a past me, which is actually future me. I haven't filmed this yet, so I'm gonna have to act like it's past me. But past me explaining the idea with a blueprint and doing it in a way that's sort of like nonchalant. This is gonna be fine. There's gonna be, I've got it planned. It's gonna be big, but it's not gonna be hard to do. And then on top of that, we're gonna use footage from the live stuff that will contrast what I'm saying. So like, I'll be like, all I have to do is just wrap this cable around, and then it'll show me and my buddy really struggling to get the cable on, and then we can use these bull wheels, and then like just like every time I mention something, we can cut to a clip of it not working. And the point of that is basically, this is an opportunity to lay out the plan, the actual build plan, talk about the engineering, but do it in a way that by the end of it, people are like, can he do this? Is this going to work? Is this even possible? That's kind of the vibe I'm going for. I'm not sure about it yet, but I feel like that might work, and it'll be kind of funny, I think. Um, I just need to take a little bit of a breather because I. Are you wanting this part to be mostly voiceover with clips of you? Yeah, it'll kind of be voiceover. Like I'm gonna film the whole scene because I'm gonna be referencing the blueprint as I'm talking about it. So I'm going to pin this big blueprint of the gondola up, and I'm going to have a stick that I'm pointing to the blueprint, being like this, this, this. I have to build this. It's got to come down the hill, and then as I'm talking about it, it'll cut to footage of me messing it all up. I think that'll be fun. I think that'll be fun. Um, and then basically throughout the rest of the video, we can start to go a little bit more chronologically, and then as we get to those moments, we can solve them. The whole point of this section now is to answer some of these questions, but generate a ton of new questions. This is a question generate. It's a it's a scene that's gonna. The intention is to generate a ton of questions, but in a way that appears to be answering all the questions. I want it to feel like this is, oh, he's just telling us exactly how this is going to work. Okay. And then it's actually going to be like, wait, how is he doing that? Wait, that doesn't look like it's going to work. Oh, yeah, there's him not being able to do this. So what's he talking about? So it's going to be a lot of like that, if that makes sense. I'm getting out of I'm out of breath. I'm out of breath. I'm 4 bottles in today, I think. Is that a crazy amount of water? 2 liters of water. I don't think that's crazy, right? Because a cup of water is like 250 mils. So I'm at like 8 cups, right? Is that that's what they say? But I'm it's only halfway through the day. I'm gonna drink probably 5 more cups of water. I'm not. How much water you drink today? You staying hydrated? Oh God, I can't stop. Oh, I've never heard of that. Salt is something that Steph's always telling me to put salt and minerals in my water, but I always forget. I'm probably lacking in minerals. Okay, I think we're at about the same. I think I probably had about that much coffee too. You can have unlimited sodium, and that's I do love salt. I do love salt. I put a lot of salt on stuff. I don't know if that's good for me though. If you've ever heard of pots, I think I have. I think I have. I don't know. I'm not very medically inclined. I sort of just I kind of just try and like drink water and um stand up. Heart goes in. Oh, interesting. Oh, that doesn't sound fun. That doesn't sound fun at all. I'm gonna be honest. I'm feeling pretty. I'm feeling pretty low energy at this point. Um, like my eyes are kind of tired. I joke that it's like McDonald's ice cream. Oh, that's funny. The the most unreliable machine on earth. I need a hot beverage. I heard Steph was telling me that McDonald's ice cream machines, it's like they're on like basically on a subscription, and only the ice cream machine company can fix it, and they actually design the machines to break so that they have to come in and fix them, and it's expensive when they come in and service them, and so it's like planned obsolescence basically. That's what I heard. I do need I could use some soup. Some soup would be nice. Um, yeah, we might actually wrap here a little bit earlier than I was thinking because I am feeling the fatigue. Oh yeah. Oh, a tea. That might be that might be the answer right now. Um, what what if I just wrap this up here? Is that chill? Would that be chill for everybody? I could wait. Is this the McDonald's ice cream thing? You know about this, Ruby? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You are describing exactly what I need right now. Oh gosh. Maybe I'll watch that movie that you suggested earlier. What is it called? Bed something. Bed something. Where is it? Bed knobs and broomsticks. Can you write that down? Oh, Ben on September 6th. Oh, thank you. I'm just gonna tell you to go cozy up somewhere. So no, it's not crazy. Let the ideas. Well, that is another part of my process, and it feels so cringy to say that, but sometimes when I'm barreling into something and like really just trying to force something out, it almost like this feels like one of those times where I'm not gonna get it if I just keep pushing at it. I need to back off and let it come to me. And typically I take a drive when I'm in this position. If I it like we like to go drive to like the bigger cities to go do some shopping and stuff, and so those are the opportunities where I'm like right now, if it wasn't for all the wildfire situation and everything right now, I'd probably be like, hey Steph, let's go to one of these big cities tomorrow, and then we would take that nice big drive, and during that drive is when I start thinking about things. But I'm not gonna go for a drive tomorrow. So yeah, maybe I'll just try and chill and watch something that'll take my mind off of it enough that I can come back into it with a fresh mind. All of the stuff that we talked about today, it's absorbed. It's in there. It's just a bit chaotic. It's like when you take a it's like when you're filling if you have a fish tank and you've got all your sand and everything down, and then you pour all the water in, and then all of a sudden all the sand blows everywhere and it's just all murky water. That's what it's like in my head right now, and I got to let it settle, and then eventually the water will clear, and then I'll be able to see everything and it'll be beautiful. But I got to let it settle. If I keep messing with it, it's just going to keep being murky. Oh my god, Ruby, I love that you know all about this. They're basically trapped in a contract with Taylor. I don't even know who Taylor is, but I'm not surprised. Taylor sounds like a jerk. Um, yeah, and you know what? The smoke, honestly, I was saying this earlier. The smoke right now, it's so bad. I can feel my eyes are super dry. I can feel. Earlier, I was coming back up the hill from fixing the or from filming the gondola, and I was breathing through my nose because when I'm like exerting myself, I'll breathe through my nose for better oxygen, and I could feel the burn in my nose, which was like, why is this burning right now? And then I realized Taylor is the company that owns the ice cream machines. Classic, classic Taylor. That's such Taylor behavior. Um, yeah, I think it's probably a good idea. Um, the office is actually like pretty airtight. I do have a few holes in it that I've been meaning to patch up. But once I do that, I would love to have a proper air filter, and then also in the main house. The main house is better because the windows are like we put in new windows and stuff. So actually the main house is pretty airtight, and it's quite good in there. It's worse in the office because I leave the doors open all day. Um, but an air filter is a good call for all the buildings we have here because the smoke thing I think is like going to be a pretty much a consistent yearly thing. Um, all right, I'm calling it. I'm calling it. I'm gonna go chill. I'm gonna go chill. This was this was a good brainstorming session. I think. I mean, this is literally we only got like a couple sentences down, and they're not really that useful. But I think it was a lot more productive than it looks. I think it was, we got into the curiosity loop thing. Um, Thank your daughter again for the input on that. That's hugely helpful. Um, we're getting the holistic view of this down. Aaron, you're back. I'm just wrapping up. I'm just wrapping up. Um, it's great that you love your students. It's great that you love your students. Jeff's gonna go take care of himself. I just rambled on so much. Yeah, I do need a cat. I'm gonna go get Trevor. I'm gonna see if Trevor's ready to chill. Um, no, I think it was really productive, even though we didn't physically get much further in the timeline. I think the holistic view of this video is coming together. Um, we're looking back at how things started, and we're trying to really figure out what the arc is. And I think that's the most important thing. We can narrow down the details as we go. Adult from India who's also learning Korean because Hindi, English, and whatever regional language he grew up with learning. Just oh my gosh. Yeah, those are drastically different. All right. We're going to wrap this up. Wait, hold on a second. I'm just seeing something. Yeah, what's up? Sorry. This was my first exposure to marmots. Just for fun, watching a cozy space. Watch out electricity as desired. Thank you. I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up and I'll watch it inside. Oh wait. Okay. I'm gonna watch this, and I'm gonna watch this right away here. Um, hi. Yeah, I'm just wrapping up right now. I know. I want to check that out. I want to check that out. Okay. Alrighty, y'all. Thanks for the stream. Take it easy, and we'll see you probably tomorrow.